I just got a bunch of LEGO Castle minifig parts in the mail, so today I'm going to make 15 different custom minifigs for the Horse and Snake Knight factions. We've got quite a lot to get through in this video, so let's just get started first with a leader for each army. This is the Snake Knight Captain. I've given him a special beard piece from the old Pirates of the Caribbean theme, and this braided hair that fits in really nicely with it. This guy's got like almost a pirate-esque vibe to him that I'm going to try to keep for the rest of his army. But before we do that, let's take a look at the Horse Knight leader. For her, I grabbed a couple of different witch parts since I wanted this faction to feel more like a party of different adventurers, if that makes sense. She's also got a blue cape and this super expressive face print from an old cowgirl collectible minifigure. I love how her and the Snake Captain are basically as opposite to each other as you can get. The contrast is nice, and it's also going to help me build out the other figures. Anyhow, next up we've got a Snake Necromancer and one of their undead companions. Again, I wanted to try to keep the evil stylings of their leader, so who better to represent that than a Necromancer? I also like how the dark green goes with the dark purple here, and it quite honestly makes me want to incorporate more green into my real Snake Knight army. The undead here was made with parts from an old Lord of the Rings figure and a few accessories to make him look more like an undead king. I'm imagining the Necromancer as being tasked with bringing back to life all of the most legendary knights and kings from across the lands. Or something like that, I don't know, you get the idea. Moving over to the more friendly Horse Knights, I've made a couple more adventurers. This guy's got the standard knight fighter look with a bunch of ornate armor and a great big shining grin, while the woman's got more of a treasure hunter thing going on. I've given her a satchel of maps, a sword, and a key to an ancient temple. Whenever I make figs like these, I try and think of a light backstory just to help me figure out who they are and what accessories they might need. So for these two, I imagine them as a couple that goes out treasure hunting. The woman's an academic with a spirit for adventure, while the man's a well-meaning oaf that struggles to keep her out of trouble. Super basic character tropes, I know, but it really does help me stylize the figures, and it's worth trying out for yourself if you've never done it before. Anyhow, back to the snakes. Here we've got a couple of goblin mercenaries. One with a crossbow and the other with this massive axe that I made for him. I love the bat molding on the top, which already kinda looks like a blade, but I've also included some regular ones below it. I've been wanting to make use of these sand green troll heads for a long time now, and I just haven't been able to figure it out, but I think these goblin mercs are a decent enough use for them. Next are a couple more tavern-bound adventurers. The elf bard's got a lute, a chalice, a big traveling cloak, and a backpack, while the dwarf has their completed bounty contract and an appropriately sized sword. These two are probably my favorites of the whole video, just because of how Lego-y they look. I doubt that makes much sense to you, but I don't know, there's just something so whimsical about these figs, and I guess they just feel like something I could see Lego putting into a set. They look great, and they fit in really nicely with the D&D party vibe that I have going on. Anyhow, next up we have a couple of armored snake warriors. For this guy, I've used an old piece of Star Wars armor that I actually think works really nicely for medieval figs. It's definitely pushing it with the futuristic belt and some of the other printing, but I don't know, let me know what you all think in the comments because I think it still works. The other warrior has a set of spiky shoulder armor. Again, I'm trying to keep up that mean aesthetic going on here. And she's also got one of these dual molded swords that I wish Lego would make again in this color. It only ever came out in one collectible minifigure, and it's kinda hard to buy them on their own. I don't know why Lego just doesn't make this again because it's one of their best swords that I think they've probably ever made. Now, to match these two figs, I've done kind of the same thing for the Horse Knights. This guy is as simple as it comes, but the axe bearer on the other hand looks incredible. This old printed breastplate goes beautifully with the gold straps and accents on his legs, and the custom blue cape adds in that classic Horse Knight color scheme to really finish off the fig. He's basically like the ideal knight character of the party. And last but not least, I've made a couple of rangers for each faction. I think the facial expressions do all the talking here. Let me know which of these figs was your favorite, and if you'd like to see me do a similar video when I finally get my hands on some more of the Griffin and Kraken Knights. A big thank you goes out to my channel members, Gyojo, Faisal, Rio Bricks, Wachtermeister, Ryzen Covers, Clunk, Peter, RPG Gameslayer, Daventria Bricks, Griffinclaw, Bogwog Ponk, and all of my other members for supporting the channel. And as always, thank you all so much for watching.